Park. The protest where Matthew Shepard turned into a near riot. Police on horses were pushing into the crowds.
Let's go!
As of 9 a.m. today, Matthew Shepard remains in critical condition with severe head injuries in the surgical neuro-intensive care unit. Respiratory support.
As I told you before, it's not a lifestyle with which I agree.
You still feel that way?
Yes.
The family continues to emphasize that the media respect their privacy. The family also wants to thank the American public for their concern and kind thoughts for Matthew.
We went to the candle vigil, and it was so good to be with people who felt like shit. I kept feeling like I don't deserve to feel this bad. And somebody got up there and said, "Come on, guys, let's show the world that Laramie is not this kind of a town. But it is this kind of a town. If it wasn't this kind of a town, then why did this happen here? I mean, that's a lie, because it happened here. So how can it not be a town where this kind of thing happens? I mean, how can you even say that? We have to mourn this, and we have to be sad that we live in a town, a state, a country where shit like this happens. I mean, these people are trying to distance themselves from this crime, and we need to own this crime, I feel. Everyone needs to own it. We are like this. We are like this. We are like this.
Not having to deal that much with the gay community here in Laramie, once we started working into the case, and actually talking to people that were gay and realizing what their underlying fears were, that's when it sort of hit home. This is America. You don't have the right to feel that fear.
Do you think a lot of people in Laramie feel the same way?
You're always going to have people that hold with the old ideals. And I was probably one of them 14 months ago. But I'm not going to put up with it anymore. I'm not going to listen to it. And if they don't like my views on it, fine. Door goes both ways. I've already lost a couple buddies, but I don't care. I feel more comfortable. You know, I can sleep at night now.
Well, I really want to thank you for having us here tonight. I mean, it's just
Honestly, it's our pleasure.
Yeah, well, you know, these gatherings, this is a recent thing for us. I mean, this really only happened since Matthew.
And there's a relief in that we finally connected.
It's nice to see. There are a lot of us in Laramie.
Is everybody in the company gay? No, just the three of us.
Are you out?
Yes.
Yep.
I wasn't out before, actually. And I thought probably they all know, but I'm not gonna, like, tell anyone. And in the long run, your self-esteem just becomes shit. And I couldn't live like that anymore.
I think a lot of people decided that they didn't want to hide anymore.
Well, I still don't feel that free to be out here. No one's asking, I'm not telling.
I've always been out, and I know how to take care of myself, but you know, since the episode, I've been irrationally terrified, and what that means is we don't let our son walk around at night alone. Every time I see a pickup truck do a U-turn, I think it's coming after me, and I'm shaking so badly I have to stop what I'm doing. It's crazy.
I think it's because somewhere inside we all know it could happen to us anytime.
Since our last medical update, Matthew Shepard has remained in critical condition with severe head injuries. As of today, the hospital will no longer offer medical updates on a scheduled basis. If Matthew's medical condition changes, we will issue a new medical update, and we will immediately contact as many members of the media as is practically possible. Thank you.
All eyes are on Laramie, Wyoming today, where many are turning their focus to their homecoming parade and the fortunes of the University of Wyoming football team.
This apartment has windows on two opposite streets. One goes north and the other goes south. And that is exactly the homecoming parade route. Now, on the day of the parade, I had a cast on my leg because of a fall. And I was very disappointed because I had heard that some students were going to be walking for Matthew Shepard. And I wanted to join them, but I couldn't, so I watched from that window. It was just... I'm 52 years old, and I'm gay. I've lived here for many years, and I've seen a lot. And I was very moved when I saw the tag at the end of the homecoming parade. It was just a group of people walking behind a banner for Matthew Shepard. But the parade went down to the end of the block, made a U-turn around the block, and I came to the other side of my apartment to watch for it to come south down this street. Maybe 10 minutes went by. And then I saw the most incredible thing. As the parade came down the street, the number of people marching for Matthew Shepard had grown like 5 times. Can you imagine? The tag at the end was bigger than the entire parade. I thought to myself, thank God I got to see this in my lifetime. And my second thought was, thank you, Matthew.
I really haven't been all that involved, per se. My husband's a highway patrolman, so that's really the only way I've known about it. But when I first found out, I just thought it was horrible. I can't. Nobody deserves that. I don't care who you are. But I have to tell you, you know, the media is portraying him as a saint. They're making him out as a martyr, and I don't think he was. Did you know him? No, I didn't know him. But there's so many things I found out about him that it's scary. You know, about his character and spreading AIDS and a few other things, you know, being about the kind of person he was. Meaning? Well, he was just a barfly. So I think he pushed himself on around, or I don't know, but I think he flaunted it. Another thing that wasn't brought out, the same time that happened, that patrolman was killed, and there was nothing. Nothing. That they didn't say anything about that old man that killed him. I mean, he was driving down the road, he shouldn't have been driving, and he killed him. And there was just a little piece. And we lost one of our guys. You know, my husband worked with him. This man was brand new on the force. But I mean, here's one of ours. And it was just a little piece in the paper.
But this was such a deliberate crime.
Everybody's got problems. Why they're exemplifying Matthew Shepard, I don't know. A hate crime's a hate crime. You murder somebody, you hate them. It has nothing to do if you're a gay or a prostitute or... I don't know. I don't understand. I don't understand.
November 29th, 1998, we're about to interview Father Roger Schmidt.
Here we go. 2 queers and a Catholic priest.
Matthew Shepard has served us well. You realize that? He has served us well. I cannot mention anyone who has done more for this community than Matthew Shepard. And I'm not going to sit here and say I was just this bold guy, no fear. I was scared. I was very vocal in this community when this happened, so I thought, you know, should we call the bishop and ask him permission to do the vigil? And I was like, hell no. I'm not going to do that. His permission doesn't make it correct. And I'm not knocking bishops. But what is correct is correct. You think violence is what they did to Matthew? They did do violence to Matthew. But you know, can I make this personal?
Yeah, sure.
Every time you are called a fag, or you are called a les, or
dyke.
Dyke, yeah, dyke. Do you realize that is violence? That is the seed of violence. And I would resent it immensely if you use anything I said to somehow cultivate that kind of violence.
Well, thank you, Father, for saying that.
Just deal with what is true. You know what is true. You need to do your best to say it correct.
And these people trust us. You know, they want everyone to know that they are not this crime. And it's more than clearing Laramie's name, it's clearing their own, and I don't know that we can do that. Reverend, hi.
Yeah.
My name's Amanda. I'm with the theater company that's been speaking with people here in Laramie.
Let's see. Well, let me tell you, I don't know that I really want to talk with anybody at all about this incident. I'm somewhat involved, and I really don't feel like it's appropriate.
I completely understand. I just wanted to tell you I went to your service.
You went to the services?
Yes, I did.
On Sunday?
Yes.
Did I meet you?
Briefly. You welcomed us in the beginning.
I see. Well, I will tell you that I am involved. Half the people in the case, well, the girlfriend of the accused is a member of our congregation, and one of the accused has visited. Now, I think they deserve the death penalty, but I will try to deal with them spiritually. Now, as far as the victim, I know that that lifestyle is legal, but I will tell you one thing. I hope Matthew Shepard, as he was tied to that fence, that he had time to reflect on a moment when somebody had spoken the word of the Lord to him, and that before he slipped into a coma, he had a chance to reflect on his lifestyle.
Thank you, Reverend. I appreciate your speaking with me.
All right. You better go.
I let him say that to me. I let him say that to me, and I didn't say anything back.
At 12 midnight on Monday, October 12, Matthew Shepard's blood pressure began to drop. We immediately notified the family, who were already at the hospital. At 12:53 a.m., Matthew Shepard died. His family was at his bedside. The family did release the following statement. They again asked me to express their sincerest gratitude to the entire world for the overwhelming response to their son. The family was grateful that they did not have to make a decision regarding whether or not to continue life support for their son. Like a good son, he was caring to the end and removed guilt or stress from the family. He came into the world premature and left the world premature. Matthew's mother said, "Go."
We've been up for like 72 hours straight, and gone home and gone to sleep for half an hour and get up and come. Maybe I was just way, I don't know. While I was reading that statement, I thought about my own 4 daughters, and she doesn't have her kid anymore.
Go home. Give your kids a hug. And don't let a day go by without telling them that you love them.
And then we started getting people sending us all these emails and letters. Do you cry like a baby on TV for all your patients or just the faggots? Jesus. After being thrown into this, I guess I didn't understand the magnitude with which some people hate. And of all the letters we got, I mean, there were 2 or 3 that were like that. Most were thanks for your caring and compassion. And Matthew got caring and compassion from the moment he got here.
The charges against Russell Henderson and Aaron McKinney were upgraded to first-degree murder after Matthew Shepard died early Monday morning. If convicted, the 2 men could face the death penalty.
Now, I'll tell you what. If they put those 2 boys to death, that would defeat everything that Matt would be thinking about them. Because he would not want those 2 to die. He'd want to leave them with hope. H-O-P-E. Just like the whole world hoped that Matt would survive, right? This whole thing, you see what I'm saying? This whole thing ropes around hope. H-O-P-E.
On the day of the funeral, it was snowing and raining so bad. By the time I got there were already thousands of people there, dressed in black, umbrellas everywhere. And they had 2 churches set up. And still, there were hundreds of people outside who couldn't fit into either one of the churches. And they had this park set up, and the park was full.
Thou shalt not lie down with mankind, as in womankind. It is abomination. Matthew Shepard lived his life breaking that commandment. Now, if he repented in his dying hours, we hope he did. If not, he is in hell, along with those killers. You believe in the Bible? You believe you're supposed to separate the precious from the vile? Oh, you don't believe that part of the Bible. No, you just stand over there, ignorant of the fact that for every 2 times...